Hello, World Wide Web. Welcome back to the Hanging with Web show. You are watching HWWS Web TV, and I'm GW Pomichter, and we are at Fantasm, Orlando. Been hanging out with horror greats, icons, actors. There are not enough words to tell you how great these people are. Right now, we're hanging out with actor Richard Gorton. Did I pronounce that right?
That's it.
That's straightforward.
Straightforward.
Because you know when it's straightforward like that, I get confused because you still have some of the names in there, right?
Yes.
Yes. Richard Gorton, he is the left head of King Ghidorah. The left
head.
Screen left?
Screen
body
right.
right. Screen right.
Screen right, body
left. Okay. So, the left head of King Ghidorah in Godzilla. The King of Monsters. The King of the Monsters. That's right. That's the new one.
Yes.
That's two in this franchise.
Yes.
In the reboot franchise. Whatever. Guys, Godzilla. 65 years of Godzilla out there. And so what's that like? No pressure at all.
Right.
Welcome to the family of 65 years of iconic monster movies.
It's been incredible. I mean, to be part of the franchise is one thing. And, you know, you're carrying on the legacy of great monsters.
What I love about great monster movies through the ages is that I think monster movies push the technology and the way we make films.
Yeah.
They push it forward every time. So we've gone from claymation dinosaurs to the Godzilla in a suit to CGI and motion capture and all of it keeps pushing the envelope.
Yeah.
Of the industry as a whole, and there you are. You're part of that.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people this is my overnight success.
Only took
it only took me 19 years. I've been doing. I am known as the Mocap Man. I've been doing video games for 19 years.
Wow.
I've been in over 100 video games. I played iconic characters like, Darth Vader, Wolverine, Master Chief from Halo. It's incredible. Left 4 Dead, Pyramid Head. I've
Just
done
keep
all
pushing
these,
that envelope of mocap.
And so as the technology was growing through the game world, the movie world started stealing from it.
Well, yeah.
So,
I mean, the tech was.
It's incredible.
I remember as a kid. I remember the little 8-bit games when we were all sitting there, quarter at a time, giving away our lunch money. And then I remember what was remember the knight, the cartoon? What was that video game? He was a knight and he had a little blonde and he was trying to rescue her. And you had to make the move first, and then you'd watch the cartoon make the move because we didn't have the tech.
Zelda.
No. I'm sure it'll come to us. I'll put a link down below, I promise. If you know, leave a comment down below.
Yeah.
We don't know. Anyway, and then watching the tech go from that to being able to control your character, to being able to hear your character do dialogue.
Yeah.
Again, and it wasn't all. That particular video game in the arcade was literally like 3 lines of dialogue. If you played the game 3 times, you'd heard every line.
Yeah.
From every character. But you guys do stuff that's like, I mean, it's so interactive, and you guys have done different motions and different movements and different dialogue and different everything, so that everybody's game experience is almost entirely
very
unique.
Different. Yeah, I was lucky enough I worked on Star Wars: The Force Unleashed 2.
Wow.
And I got to play Darth Vader and I got to play the Apprentice. But at the end of the game, you choose whether you go light side or dark side. And it was great to be able to shoot both versions, because if you decide, do I want to free the Apprentice or Darth Vader, or do I want to keep him captive? And depending on which way you chose, your game experience can be very different every time you play it.
That's
each level.
incredible.
So it's pretty incredible. That's like one form of it.
What drew you to performance acting?
I've been a performer. I was Shakespeare trained. I studied theater, dance, movement, but I started getting into the stunt world. I grew up on the East Coast in Washington, D.C., so I was a stunt coordinator for the TV show America's Most Wanted. I did a lot of the reenactments, a lot of car stunts, and I was like, I'm going to move to Hollywood. I want to be a stuntman in the big movies. And I got out to Hollywood, and one of my first auditions was for a video game. It was actually for Scooby-Doo
video game.
Scooby-Doo, Night of 100 Frights. I played Shaggy.
Wow.
I played Shaggy and all the villains in the game.
That's awesome.
And it just I was in the right place at the right time. The technology was there. They had just used motion capture for The Titanic, where all the men were falling off the ship.
Yep.
So that was mocap, and my audition was at this iconic motion capture studio called House of Moves. I went, I auditioned, I got the role of Shaggy. I played all the villains in the game, and then from that it just ballooned. They were like, the next game said, this guy can do everything. I think he can do the Darth Vader walk.
You know, we talked a little bit about how the technology has evolved that has made what you do so much more prolific. More and more, I mean, more and more, even the well-known faces in acting have suited up at one time or another now for mocap work. But as the technology has progressed, another thing is progressing that I'd like you to comment on, and that is you're behind the table in there now. You're not behind the scenes. I remember the days, you remember the days, when, in your stunt days, right? Yeah. You were the stunt guy, and you went back in the back room and you sat there like this, while the actor who you replaced 760 cuts in a film, he sat out there and signed pictures all day long. Yeah. But now the fans want to know, and they like the mocap guy. They know what you do. Yeah. What's that been like as a transition in the industry for you?
It's amazing. I mean, I am a fanboy at heart. I still collect my autographs. I have my favorite movies and projects that I respect those actors and I want their autographs. And American Werewolf in London, that's one of my favorite movies. The Thing is one of my favorite movies. I want to interact with those guys because they helped shape my career. They helped lead me into what I do now. The first time I signed an autograph for King Ghidorah, I started laughing. Because I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Somebody wants
my autograph.
That's right.
And I mean, and there's a lot of pressure too, because you're like, this is important to them. I don't want to mess up my signature. I don't want to make it blurry.
And again, like I said, years ago, I think everybody behind the scenes, from the stunt guys to could have just wrote "guy in the suit," and nobody would have known the difference. Today's fans, today's movie-going audience, and they have a high expectation of the mocap guys, the performance that you have to bring that monster to life.
These are iconic characters. We have to give homage to the people who came before us. I mean, suit acting is hard. Yeah. But mocap is digital acting. Acting is acting still.
You still have to bring a performance.
Right. I still have to bring it. But we're lucky to have this kind of interaction and stuff, with the fans, because we find out what they like. I became a memed character. Kevin, the left head of King Ghidorah, is now known as Kevin because the director, somebody asked him on Twitter, what are their names? So
we're not going to tell you the left head is Kevin.
Yes.
Okay, the left head of King Ghidorah became Kevin. Okay, so now you can spread that around on all of the social media places. However, none of you that are watching right now can share this, because I'm going to add, this is an in-depth question, and we're going to ask the people with Alan's interview, we're going to ask them if they'll know. Does Alan's head have a name?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so off camera, I'm going to get the name. You guys are going to comment on it. I'll tell you if you're right. So your head is Kevin.
Yes.
Alan's head is something different. See if you can guess the name. We just made a game. I don't know if it's going to work, but we'll try. So you also teach for the mocap community at the Mocap Vault.
Yes. Yes. That is our international company. I have partners. We have a school in London, and my partners over there, Oliver Hollis-Leek, who helped create the Mocap Vaults with John Dower. John Dower is an amazing film director and TV director, and he started directing games. And my partner Oliver is kind of like my doppelganger. He's been in 100 video games. Wow. And they were like, nobody is educating, the community, and because it's very, very hard. New people. They came to me, and so I run the U.S. division. And, and basically, it was time. Like after 100 games, after working on all these great projects, we felt like it's time to give back to the community. And I tell my students, I'm tired of getting punched in the face. It's time for the new generation to get punched in the face.
It is true. There comes a time when they want you to do, and you're just like,
all this physical.
That doesn't
very physical.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, you're like, my knees are saying stop jumping off of scaffolding.
Yeah. Yeah. There should be a retirement home for the old 70s and 80s stuntmen.
Yes.
Because those guys, their knees and their backs and everything told them stop, and they were like, nah, I got one more in me.
Yeah, and then something bad happened.
So It is. It is. So, what is the most exciting part about watching the young people come into this field now? Because when you came in, again, mocap any suit work, motion capture work, stunt work. This is all so behind the scenes that almost you had to really have a want to be in this career, because your name was not going on a poster back then. Now you got the photographs out there. So when these kids come in and they're like, "Oh, I love this," and they know all your work, they don't have to be well studied.
Well, most of the people I'm training are saying, "Oh, I played that game. That was part of my childhood."
Wow.
And you're like, "Oh boy, thank you for making me feel old." But it's nice to know that I had an influence on your career.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I like to say,
because you said there's inspiration.
Left 4 Dead is one of my iconic games that I've worked on, and people, you know, millions of people have played this game, and they come up to me still, and if they're like, "I'm not really a Godzilla fan, but I'm a video game fan," and I played hundreds of hours of Left 4 Dead.
Wow.
That's pretty incredible. So I
is.
tell these kids now, you know, it's a lot of responsibility. Acting is acting, and it's hard. But motion capture is pure imagination. We don't get sets, we don't get props, so you have to be able to really, really be a creative person to do mocap.
Yeah,
and,
I can
you know,
see that.
It's been incredible.
A very special set of challenges to work on that set and in that environment, and to know that you're bringing the next generation in is got to be pretty awesome.
To get a text or to get an email from somebody who said, "I booked my first mocap job. I'm working on my first AAA title. I'm in a movie doing motion capture." It's incredible. I'm proud.
I'm seeing Richard in the back room. He gets that call and he's like, okay, drop the mic. Boom, we're done. I got one.
Yeah,
and that's because you're part of somebody else's journey now. The same way those actors were part of your journey.
Our school has given the opportunity, I'm going to say, just for the U.S. division, I have at least 50 of my students have finally broken through and gotten to work on mocap. London is just as big. I mean, we have...
That is super.
Our students make us so proud because they are finally working in this industry. They've been able to crack the seal and get through some of these auditions that are, you know, when you work on a video game, it's hidden. I can't tell you what I've worked on for 2 years under the NDAs and things like that. So to get a text to say, "I just worked on a project, a dream project." I mean, I just worked on a dream project for me.
Yeah.
As a, you know, I'm like, I can't believe I worked on that film that's coming out, you know.
That is awesome.
It's pretty incredible.
That is so cool. Richard, thank you so much for coming and hanging with us for a few minutes, man.
Thank you.
Guys, we've been hanging out with actor Richard Gorton. That's my shut up card. She wiggles it so because she thinks I can't see it. What she doesn't realize is we didn't care. We were having a good time. So thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you to our partners and friends at Famous Faces and Funny, Space Coast Comics and Indie Originals. Our great friend Josh Bauer for all the art on the set with J. Bauer Art. Thank you to Embellish Effects, Cogler Emporium, the Foxwood Wine Company for these cozy chairs.
Yes.
Great way to finish a weekend, chilling in the leather chairs. And our good friends at Hearts Helping Others of Central Florida. Their families helping families all over Florida. Thank you for that. And our great new friend, Sherry's Bright Ideas. Sherry brought us the Scooby-Doo lamp. That's awesome on the set this weekend. Thank you for watching. Remember, everybody, log on, tune in, and see who we're hanging with next. Richard, thank you.
Awesome.
That was awesome.
Great.
Thank you very much, man.